With the Alpha Wave 3 actually over now, welcome to the Hero Spotlight Reel, because I'm going to go through all the heroes in Alpha, show off the kits, kind of what they did, and use this kind of as a data bank, like a history or memory. So when we go into the beta and in the launch, we can actually look back quite easily on video gameplay footage of the changes that might have occurred with any of these heroes that we might experience in the game. So if you enjoy this series, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. But today we're going to be looking at Achilles on Godforge, and this is the one hero I honestly recommended in Alpha Wave 3 to many of you guys during my live streams, during the Discords that I was in the voice chats for, during other people's live streams. Achilles, because Achilles in this game was fantastic because he is going to be basically this massive bleeder that you're going to be using on a lot of boss floors to go through, and I will showcase that in today's video like I've done with all the other heroes. But before we do, let's go down the basics, right, which is the Slayer, the Cunning, we've got the Order for the alignment, and he is an Olympian, meaning yes, stuff like Hippolyta can combo attack with him, which does get a lot more out of this hero, which is a little sneaky tip and trick there at the beginning of the video. When we come into his actual abilities, this guy, like I said, is a bleed artist. He's all about placing bleeds, approximately 3 bleeds each time, which I absolutely love this. And you don't really care about the damage, don't get me wrong. Maybe in the beta, when we get to try him out, this is going to change. But at the moment, all you want to do is stack 10 bleeds. Stacking 10 bleeds with this hero does feel better than removing all the stacks of bleed to try to increase this hero's damage. And I do know, if you've not checked it out, I did a video with Brad, which is a little bit choppy. I do apologize, but I do edit on top of it. But they are planning, right? Brad and the team are planning on trying to change this ultimate maybe to make it feel good to use and not feel bad to use, because with this guy, the only 2 skills we care about is the Rage of Myrmidon, which is placing Retaliate as well as Sharpen 2 and Attack up 2 for 2 turns, and his main core. That is it, which is kind of scary, I know, because his passive is a good imprint in the right scenarios, inflicts 30% more damage to enemies under bleed, but receives 10% more damage under bleed. This goes to 20 and 10% as the imprint, which is really good. And if you just want to look at, again, the one moral value we've got, which is 260%, that is that. So we've got all the numbers, all that stuff that we need for his skills. Let me just showcase the awakenings. So again, for anyone, including myself, that's probably going to go back and watch these videos, we can see what this hero had in Alpha Wave 3 and compare it into your good old beta. So, with that, how do you build this hero? Well, I've got an easy way I built him, and you're probably going, Sneaky, come on, you're not being serious, but I am. All I did was max out accuracy. I maxed out as much accuracy on this hero as I could, as well as basically making him survive. If I could make him survive and put accuracy on this hero, which we're going to do here, he did his job. He honestly did his job, which we're going to showcase. And on top of that, there is some really good weapons that you could be using with this hero, which people probably tried out. And one of them was bugged, but I hope it, fixes itself. But one of them is Bloodsword, right? The Bloodsword is insane, because the Bloodsword here inflicts 24% increased damage to targets under bleed. So you are going to get a ton of damage out of this. But one really powerful one, and I hope it gets fixed, it's Shamoon. So Shamoon here and Harp, both of these 2 weapons, I'm going to tell you, are insanely strong on Scatter, on your Achilles, on any crowd controller in the game. I'm going to be honest, because, or debuffer in the game, shall I say, because your attacks have a 12% chance to activate a random damaging debuff. So Blaze, Acid, and Bleed all trigger off this one, while the 20% resistance obviously allows you to trigger your bleeds, your freezes, and any of your debuffs or disables, because you're ignoring 20% of their resistance, which is insanely strong, especially when you're playing with this guy. But when it comes to your imprints, depending on who you are rolling, the one I really like is this one, the Bork. Bork has a 25% chance to counterattack whenever this hero receives a debuff or disable, which does give your, obviously, Achilles an additional chance of attacking with basic and getting those bleed stacks up. And the quicker you get those bleed stacks up, the better. The only bug that I need to talk about in Alpha Wave 3, and hopefully it's a bug and it doesn't work like this in beta, is when you use the Simoon, when you activate a bleed proc currently, it does remove all of the bleed stacks. So that means if you've got 5 stacks of bleed and the Simoon procs, guess what? All 5 stacks are removed, but it does trigger the 5% damage all of them would have dealt. It's a little bit of a bummer. I think a lot of people, including myself, thought it would trigger the 5 damages and go to 4 stacks of bleed, and vice versa. So if you had 3 stacks of bleed and it triggered, it'd go down to 2 and so on, but it doesn't. And that might be just a bug on the weapon itself. But yeah, one of the really cool weapons that we like to use on here. But what I'm going to do is put on the harp just to show off that resistance on here. And you can see I've got 216 accuracy and a bunch of other stats here. And I honestly don't care about any of the other stats apart from maybe the speed at the moment and HP, just so you can survive the turns and obviously keep applying the bleed in there, right? So when it comes to combos, what I'm going to be potentially using is stuff like Aphrodite for the combo attack, again, on these 2 skills. An all-star hero is actually Heimdall, because Heimdall is going to put Retaliate as well onto the Achilles with a shield, so he doesn't feel as bad as needed to do it on his own turn as well anymore, so you can double up on the bleeds, as you'll see what I'm going to do. You can do it also with a bunch of other heroes that do joint attacks, like Shamash as well, like another good, you know, joint attacker. But anyone who can keep you up and keep you attacking more is going to be fantastic with this hero. So the way to show this is actually on stage 120. I'm going to showcase what this hero can do on this stage, and I'm just going to try and make sure we equip some heroes here that have gear applied onto them with my Achilles, there we go, and Heimdall. So we've got a decent-ish team, hopefully, to get us through here, right, as we run this. So what we're going to do is clear the waves, as always, but what we're going to try and do is when we get to the boss, we're going to really show off what this guy is about to do. Because as you can see, I've got it on auto at the minute. I'm just going to let it auto run so we can see kind of the wave gameplay of Achilles, and kind of what you are trying to do from wave to wave is to make sure he always has Retaliate up, so then he can obviously attack back, place the damage, place the bleed, and if you're able to ult, then I would ulti in waves just to try and kill off those enemies too and get that extra bonus on there. But when it comes to a good old boss, when it comes to a boss, you never, ever, ever want to be ultimating with Achilles, and that was just because of Alpha Wave 3. I know, as I've said it multiple times in all of these types of videos that I've been recording, and probably this one, that they are going to be looking at this. They're going to be looking at things like this, like Achilles, and hopefully we get a really good ultimate that makes sense to use when we're using this hero, instead of using this ultimate that, let's be real, just doesn't really gel with Achilles' kit at the moment. So you can kind of see it used there. The ultimate goes bang, 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 double hit, the retaliate, into the retaliate, into the retaliate there. It is what it is, right? That's the beauty of retaliate skills. But boom, we got the big ass shield up from our Heimdall. Get some attacks up, and hopefully we kill this Green Knight. So there's the Green Knight killed. So we're on wave 2 now. And what we're going to do is basically blitz through this one. I'm going to manual it this time just to showcase a little bit more. And we're going to try and kill our Ra on the right side or place a bleed on him. We didn't. So we're going to try again. Almost killed him that time. So we're definitely going for the kill here if we're able to. Because I do not want Ra to honestly do anything. He does a lot of damage. So now what we're going to do is go onto the Anubis, but you'll notice with the Retaliate of Achilles, it instantly dealt some damage. He's got 3 stacks of bleed on him already, which is great. So this is obviously going to make him do even more. So what we're going to do is put up this speed. I know we've got, I think, corrupt on, which means they would get any of the buffs that we get at the moment. So we're going to try and ignore that and just deal with what damage we can able to deal with, right? So we'll use our shield on Isis just to get him all survive. Achilles is going to come and rotate his way around in a moment, but we should be able to get the kill here on Anubis with our team. So fantastic. 2 guys down in the wave, building up to the Golden Guardian, which just showcases, look, as long as you have even just an Achilles in the team with some good old supports and defenders, it is enough. It's enough to get us where we need to get to, right? So we're going to kill Horus now as the next target. I really don't like Horus. He can do some nasty things against you, so it is in my best interest for me. Some people might disagree, but it's in my best interest to try and kill him as fast as I can, and then that just leaves with these 2 guys left at the bottom, which is great. So we can try and put the bleed on Osiris. We fail. We're all good. We've got a bunch of mend on all of our units from Isis, and if you've not checked out the Isis video, I've done one of these videos so far for every one of these heroes, including even Aphrodite. It just depends on when I've uploaded these videos. Just remember that they are going to be uploaded daily, so everyone's got some content to watch while we get through to the beta here. But there we go, massive 23.4k hit there from our Achilles. Hey, nothing too shabby. But there we go, we're on the Golden Golem, or the Golden Guardian as it's actually called. And let's see what Achilles is actually all about, because this is where you really get to see the power of Achilles and how he shines as a hero. So what I'm going to do is actually just use the ultimate straight away. It gets me a couple of hits in, but I don't need it. I actually don't need it. So it's just some free damage to get an open up with. I'm going to use my retaliate, my attack up, and my sharpen up too. I'm going to start to deal damage to this guy, and we've got our bleed on. So now I'm going to try and do a combo attack and get more bleed, which we did. We've got 4 stacks of bleed. Now I'm going to combo again with that Achilles with my Aphrodite. We're going to attack, get that attack in. We missed the bleed at that time, but we can't be obviously perfect every single one. Otherwise, you guys will say this is the streamer rigged series. But if we keep going, and go into our Achilles turn, let's see what we get to here. We missed it. We didn't get the 7 hit. We didn't get the 7. But there we go. 7 as we said it. Boom. And then again with the Shamash and the Achilles, if you're wondering how we did that, obviously Shamash's A1, if you've checked out that video, obviously combos with the guy with the lowest divinity, which is going to be my good old Achilles at the moment. So then we can attack, boom, and we got 8 stacks of bleed now. And again, combo goes to Aphrodite onto the Achilles. Go again one more time here. And what we're going to watch for now is the health bar. Keep an eye out on that health bar, and what we're going to do is kind of refresh our retaliate from Heimdall here, keep our own one, and watch this. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage there, right? And that is because we've got 10 stacks of bleed. I know we've got 11 stacks at the moment, because that's just kind of a little bug in the Alpha Wave 3, but you can imagine that is a lot of damage. And you got to think what's really good about this is happening now on the start of each turn of the boss, right? So every boss turn now, as we just cycle through these turns, boom, look at that. That's a massive nuke that you're able to do. We can literally put it on auto now, and if we put it on auto, actually what will happen is my Achilles will ult, and if he ults, as you can imagine, those 11 stacks are going to disappear, and if they disappear, it's going to be kind of a little bit of a bummer. But you can kind of see here exactly why you want to use Achilles and why you want to make sure that you get 10 stacks of bleed onto the boss with your Achilles and never remove them. If you never remove them, you're going to be Gucci, like we're doing right here, and applying 4 stacks of bleed already from actually just eating all of those 11 stacks that we've just had. And yeah, you will get through, I promise you, these bosses like it's nothing, because Achilles and Bleed, honestly, are really good against these bosses. They're really good at the moment. And then you got to remember, this could change in beta. In beta, things could get fixed. Things could get changed a little bit when it comes to Bleed versus bosses. But for alpha, we've got this as a reference. You can see this video as a reference, being like, oh, damn. They've nerfed the amount of damage he's doing with his bleeds. We're on 10 bleeds now, which is sick, right? We can increase the attack, put shield up, and just keep going through. We can put auto on, to be fair, and let it play through. And yeah, that's the whole point. That is Achilles in a nutshell. If many of you guys have been wondering why many of us, including myself, has been telling you guys to use Achilles, and Achilles is an all-star in this team, that's why, because you're able to place 10 bleed stacks and literally obliterate these bosses and actually kill them before they kill you here, like you just seen there, right? So that's a nice, perfect time to end on why Achilles is actually so good in this game compared to others, because we got to see him through the waves. You got to see how much damage those bleed stacks do to the boss, and why we recommend him in these golden golems or Fafnir fights, because of the amount of damage each turn that you're able to actually do when the boss starts their turn, right? So just to finish it off, as we've done with all the other videos so far that I recorded in time, hopefully, before it all runs out, is going to be his skills. So his skills here is going to be 260% attack on the bleed. There's nothing on this one down at the bottom. And then on the ultimate, does 120% attack 3 times, and then it scales depending on how much stacks you remove, and this obviously adds up over the course of the fight. So there you go, Achilles done in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed it. He is one of my favorite heroes that I was able to play with, and yeah, we'll see how many more of these I was able to do before the end of the alpha wave 3. So if you've enjoyed all the content I've been squeezing out for you guys, you know what to do. Smash that, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.